Our prayers are with our friends in Israel as they carry out an incredible way of life in the face of great terror. The United States recognizes Israel's absolute right to defend itself. The despicable attack this morning demonstrates the significant security challenges that Israel faces every single day. And today I am taking historic action to promote Israel's ability to defend itself and really to have a very powerful, very strong national security, which they're entitled to have. In a moment, I will sign a presidential proclamation recognizing Israel's sovereign right over the Golan Heights. The state of Israel took control of the Golan Heights in 1967 to safeguard its security from external threats. Today, aggressive action by Iran and terrorist groups in southern Syria, including Hezbollah, continue to make the Golan Heights a potential launching ground for attacks against Israel. Very violent attacks. Any possible future peace agreement must account for Israel's need to defend itself from Syria, Iran, and other regional threats. We do not want to see another attack like the one suffered this morning north of Tel Aviv.
Lebanese President Michel Aoun has arrived in Moscow for the first time. The recent events in the Middle East had a rather strong influence on the agenda of his talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It's not surprising that the Golan Heights and their recognition by Donald Trump as Israeli territory became one of the central topics in the public part of the conversation between the leaders of the two countries. According to Aoun, this move by the US president, quote, undermines all the foundations and rules of the UN.
Of course, this is very disturbing and creates particular concern for those countries that are in close proximity to Israel. We hope that a solution and a settlement of this problem will be found soon.
Moscow seems to have a similar position. The Russian authorities have reacted negatively to the recognition of Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, which the UN says is occupied territory belonging to Syria. In addition, Moscow once again made it clear that, unlike Washington, it does not consider Hezbollah to be a terrorist organization, and that gives Russia an advantage in the dialogue on Syria with Beirut. Hezbollah is a Shiite organization and a key part of Lebanon's ruling coalition. It participates in the hostilities in Syria on the side of government forces. The organization is in hostile relations with Israel. Also, Hezbollah's presence in Syria was recently discussed by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo with the leadership of Lebanon. He visited the country just days earlier. The US placed Hezbollah on the list of terrorist organizations. Days earlier, the US placed Hezbollah on the list of terrorist organizations. Moscow has economic interests in the region. In January, energy company Rosneft announced an agreement with the Ministry of Energy and Water Resources of Lebanon on the management of a terminal for the storage of petroleum products in the country's second largest city, Tripoli. The document will be valid for 20 years. The Russian side will also carry out reconstruction and expansion of the terminal, according to the Lebanese Ministry of Energy.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, HaKodash, A.W. honors the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to your optimists out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so as you can see, the powers that be it's a continuous struggle to procure resources and to, dominate the world, of its resources. And one thing I'm taking from what's going on, we understand that Israel is going to go to war and be the state of Israel, which the Edomites are going to be at war, and they're going to be hostile towards everybody around them. All right. And you got, pretty much Russia being the guard, according to Ezekiel 38. The Lord said he put hooks in thy jaws, and basically making Russia a part of the grand scheme of things. So you got all these things taking place, culminating this getting closer and closer to the World War III, which is being prophesied in the scriptures. All right, it's nothing new. It's new to these people because this is spirit of truth. Pretty much going out there into going out there into all of the earth, man. To the uttermost parts of the earth. Okay, But two things I see right here, is I just wanted to make a few points. Esau's kingdom is divided. You got these kingdoms that's divided. And the Russians, they're Edomites, and then you got these Americans, they're Edomites, and then you got those Israelis who claim they're the Jew, the true Jews or God's children. They're Edomites as well. So you got all these kingdoms fighting to procure a spot to basically, still, take the earth's resources and stay at the top. Hey, but the Most High is turning you against each other so he can move you guys out of the way. All right. And that's according to Joel 3, and it's a beautiful thing that's being done. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start these scriptures, and this it's going to be short, Lord willing, this is edifying. It's Matthew 12:25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And what house is that? The house Bodeg is Esau's house, Edom. All right, the house of Edom. All right, which represents pretty much the whole race of you Edomites. All right, whether you be white, black, yellow, pink, purple. If you Edomites and your lineage go back to Edom, you're going to be in straits in the very near future. Salakia. All right. And your kingdom is divided, man. All right. Your house is divided. OK, because you got the Russian Edomites who want to keep control of petroleum, oil, and so on and so forth, right along with the American military industrial complex, which is the bully of the world, who gives, the state of Israel all authority to basically wreak havoc over there in the so-called Middle East. All right. But your time is coming to an end. All right. It says, verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So we noticing that, hey, you Edomites are fighting against each other, and y'all come in the spirit of Satan. All right. And that's not anything new. That's not nothing that's secret anymore. We know you deal the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. All right. He deals with the left hand side, which we call magic or witchcraft. He deals with that demonic energy, that demonic vibration. OK. And that's why he stays at war. He goes to war with everybody around him, And concerning the state of Israel, man, is one of the smallest states there, but it has the biggest military, and they continue to fight against each other, but that's prophecy, which brought me to my second point. The prophecy says that when the children of Israel are in the land, no nation shall learn war anymore. So the second point is, where's the scrutiny with all these so-called religious leaders, these so-called, these Bible thumpers or whatever you want to call them? They care so much about the scriptures, but why don't they scrutinize these people that's calling themselves Jewish? Because they have no genetic markers. They'll say they have genetic markers to Abraham. That's true, but you're not Hebrew Israelites. You're Hebrew Edomites. All right. And you got your validation from the auspices of the World Bank leaders, central bankers, okay, which are Edomites. All right. But that was just had 2 points, and the Lord is dividing the kingdoms and bringing them to war against each other. Ezekiel 38 is something to reference. Definitely, that shows you Gog and Magog, which is Russia, becoming a defense. All right. And that's why, that article or that video, Lebanon turns to, Russia. OK, because that's biblical prophecy, man. All right. They're turning to Russia, and Russia is being a guard unto them, All right. So we got that point. Satan's kingdom is divided against each other. And another point I just wanted to get. All right. Joel 3. All right. and 1, it says, for behold, in those days and then in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So there's a dynamic happening right here. All right. So Judah, all right, and Jerusalem, all right, Ezekiel 37, are being brought back into captivity under the Lord. All right. Because, we're servants of the Lord. We're the sons of God. OK, so when it says he's bringing us back into captivity, he's bringing us back underneath that covenant. All right. He's bringing us back. All right. Isaiah 10:20, it says, though Israel be as the sand of the sea, yes, only a remnant shall return, roughly paraphrasing, So that's what we got going on. Also, within this dynamic, it says, I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So who is these prophecies fitting? Okay, it's fitting us. Those you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, as you receive this word, there's other things that's happening in the world, which is leading to our salvation more and more. As the scriptures say, I think it's Romans 13 and 9. I'm not sure. Or 13 and 11, In fact, let me get it really quick. I'm going to go back to Joel. I hate to jump a lot, but, scriptures ring off in my head. All right. Romans 13 and 11, it says, in that knowing the time that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. What represents the night? This current rulership, this current empire, because of the night represents darkness. If you look out into the world, the scripture says, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. All right. So, and if the earth is covered in wickedness, that pretty much that is a correlation with a night, So we represent, this is the night. All right. So the night is far spent. The rulership of the so-called white man. All right. Which represents the night. All right. It says in the day is at hand. All right. Why? Because what? Yahweh Shai represents the morning star. OK, he represents the morning. All right. The good, the righteousness is the morning. And the Lord and the scriptures say, for the law is a shadow of things to come. All right. So it's an outline of things of the future. It's an outline of the future. So it's a Slaki. It says the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. All right. Which is the truth. OK, which is the truth, the wisdom, the understanding of the Bible, the true understanding, the mysteries that were revealed. All right. To the elect, so we can be sealed. All right. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy. All right. Put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shai and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. And that's what's going to happen. Most people that's going to get caught up out here, whether you be Israelite and the truth, is because you're going to hearken unto your flesh and you're not going to be a spiritual man. They like the guys in HOI, pulling out guns at camp, man. That was the most carnal shit I ever seen in my life. In fact, it just shows you that where these different camps are at with the faith, man. Hey, they got the spirit of error on them and the spirit revealed. Whenever a tribulation comes, they want to fight fire with fire. When the Lord told us, man, learn of him, because he is meek and be as harmless as doves and wise as serpents. So these things we take in accountability, and those guys are through, man. All right. Because they're spiritually zapped. They don't have no faith. All right. So let's go back to Joel 3 and I'll start at 2. All right. Verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. See, it's an inadvertent thing that's happening right now. The Lord is bringing these nations together for war because he's pleading with with them for his people. And this is how he's pleading, man. All right. He's pleading. He's going to plead by death and destruction, man. Okay. Because their hurtful works are fulfilled. And there's nothing they can do to pay us back but by the blood that they shed. You know, the blood that they shed, they're going to have to, it's going to be required that their blood be shed. All right. Thus said the Holy Bible, he that leadeth in Revelation 13:9, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. All right. So you must be killed with the sword. All right. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. So just to make that point in Joel, that's how he's going to plead with all flesh, by fire and then by his sword. All right. And so most of the time, the Lord doesn't have to come physically. He'll put the spirit on another nation, your own people, rather. All right. And he'll be as an enemy towards you, and he'll let these other nations rise above you and slay you, man. All right. And that's just how this is the Lord's hand, man, all right. And this is a beautiful thing happening for those who have been oppressed, those who've been seeing the downside of every evil thing that the so-called white man has put us in. So it's a beautiful thing for us because we're coming out of that oppression. We're coming out of that state of mind where we're down and deprived and degraded all the time by the so-called white man, and continuously and perpetually oppressed. All right. So we're seeing his empire fall as we rise, as we receive the light of this truth, not as we become more successful and all of that. That ain't got nothing to do with the Most High and what he has planned for the future. All right. Joel 3:3, and says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So nobody's going to be able to repay us. All right. Your repayment is going to be turned upside down upon your own head. You cannot pay us back for all the hurt, the ill-gotten gains, all the evil things, wicked, perpetual evil things that you have done. All right. It's going to be paid back by your own blood. And that's just how the Lord works. All right. These aren't my words, but you can kill a messenger if you want. All right. Joel 3:5, it says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. So the Lord is not just, condemning the nations for no reason. He's not just, inciting war or inciting vengeance for no reason. All right. This is duly earned, and the nations they're going to pay, especially the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. All right. Whether they be black, purple, pink, yellow, if they're Edomites, they're going to be served justice, man. All right. Verse 6, it says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians, the Edomites. All right. Those who the Grecians are. OK. And what we talking about? The Hamites and all the other nations who came together, who correlated this heinous crime against the nation of Israel. This is who it's talking about. You Ishmaelites, you call yourselves Arabs, Edomites, which are the number ones, you Hamites. All right. And all the other nations that made money off the stock trade during the times of our oppression, during the times that we were, down the most, when we were the most vulnerable. All right. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. All right. And that's why we're seeing Satan divided against Satan, and these kingdoms divided against each other, because the Lord is working at work that we're not considering. All right. The elect is considering, but the world isn't. OK. It says, and will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. All right, and this hasn't happened in secular history as of yet. All right, but it's bound to happen. Okay, so proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, because hey, back to those videos, earlier, the president, which is the commander in chief of the military industrial complex here in the Western hemisphere of the world, is supposedly giving these Jewish Edomites, sovereignty over, I think it was Crown Heights or something like that. Oh, I'm tripping. But he's giving them sovereignty over what? These nations, that these other, over a piece of land that's not theirs. It's coming from somebody that breaks every law in the world court, when it comes to humanitarian efforts, killing innocent people, but it's the hypocrisy. But, that was pretty much it on the lesson. Didn't want to make it too long, but just something I noticed through the spirit. And Lord willing, this was edifying. So shalom.